Welcome back. It's a Wednesday and you know we bring you AM Business. Now it's been 3 years since the introduction of the tax stamp policy, but importers of beverage products say the tax stamp affixing station at Tema is still inefficient, costing them demurrage and losses running into thousands of cedis. Charles Aite visited the station where he came to terms with the situation there. He has more.
If it comes to big industries, this is not the way to go.
But despite all these concerns, we still have the finance minister saying that there is still no way going back. What do you have to say about this?
If there's no way going back, when we get to that point, we will cross it. Because what we are going to do on the first is that all the products that are not affixed with stamps, which are going to be withdrawn off the shelf, including the productions that they have done, we are going to trailer everything to Tema.
At the warehouse of the Coca-Cola bottling company, you could find, based on our searches, that there hasn't been the establishment of any form of an affixing machine ahead of the rollout of the tax stamp policy, as local manufacturers vehemently kick against this very policy. Head of Corporate Affairs at the Coca-Cola bottling plant at Spintex in Accra, Bethel Yeboah, tells Joy Business his outfit is still engaging government for a reconsideration of the tax stamp policy.
Before you would have the tax stamp on the product, it will mean that first and foremost you have acquired the affixing machine, and then you have the stamps, and for that matter you are affixing. But currently, as you know, I'm talking to you now, we have not, acquired the affixing machine.
You see tens of cartons of bottled, products here. Now, all these cartons do not have the tax stamps on them. The Coca-Cola bottling company is one of the largest local manufacturing companies in Ghana, producing close to 100,000 cartons of bottled soft drinks into the wholesale and retail market. Members from the Food and Beverage Authority.
That was me in 2018, 3 years ago, reporting on the introduction of the tax stamp policy. As you have seen, the policy was kicked against by players in the beverage industry who cited its laborious manual process as a disincentive to compliance. It's the month of May 2021, 3 years on since the implementation of the tax stamp policy, and yet still problems exist.
What you see now is the tax affixing center of the GRA located at Tema. Now, what is happening here is an exercise to affix the tax stamps on these beverage products. The issue now is that most of the systems here cannot meet the demand of the number of beverages that come in each and every day. The Food and Beverage Authority tells us that in a day, 20 containers of beverages come on the shores of Ghana at the Tema port. But these systems here, which are going very much slow, you can see for yourself how slow the system works in affixing these stamps on these products. This, the Food and Beverage Authority is raising concerns about, because most of their members would have to pay for demurrage, of which they say is increasing the cost of their produce and the cost of doing business in their own field. The Executive Secretary, John Agri, tells me that this poses so much profit threats to the association, the extent to which government, specifically the GRA, must come and act as soon as possible.
Well, what I'm seeing here is a mix of different things altogether. And looking at the facilities as we have here is what we saw at the beginning of the inception of the tax stamp.
So you feel nothing has changed?
Nothing has changed, and what we see here is the same facility that we see. And we are told that there is a second facility which is yet to come into the known, but then it's being used to augment what they have here, and then also to whip up the processing of the products. So that is how it is now.
So since things haven't changed, definitely it's going to have an impact on demand and supply. How are your members, reacting to this particular static nature of how things are?
What you see here, over the period, the members have complained, especially the importers. Now, what we see here is a delay, which is also adding on cost in terms of demurrage, which is no fault of the importers. Now, what the GRA is telling us is that if you look at the demand for affixing the stamp itself, because now it has invariably you cannot sell your product without affixing the stamp, and therefore the challenge of getting the stamp affixed on your product is in high demand. The queue itself is being formed. This is because what we see here has been a challenge when they switched on from Authentics, who used to supply or manage the facility, and then to Boc Press de la Rue. Now, if you look at it, what it means is that the delay has come because the stamp that they are using is facing a lot of challenges. You're going to incur more charges, or let me say more expenses, and therefore you need to also pass it on to the consumer. That is it. You need to pass.
Don't you think that is a case of what is happening now?
Now, that is how it is, and therefore if importers will have to bear the cost or refraining from increasing the cost because maybe they might considering the situation as being temporary. But for importers or the businessman, we don't have time to waste. All that we want to see is that the business is running and is going smoothly. Any delayance is a cost to consumer cost, and therefore we don't expect this thing to happen at all.
A closer look at these workers unveils the use of manual labor. Workers are fixing these stamps with their bare hands. The Excise Tax Stamp Act is definitely not an introduction of a new tax. It rather requires that excise tax stamps with traceable and security-enhanced features on specified accessible commodities in order to serve as preliminary evidence of the payment of the required duties and taxes, and to provide an audit trail for tracing importers and manufacturers of counterfeited goods. Accessible products expected to be affixed with the stamps include cigarettes and other tobacco products, alcoholic beverages, non-alcoholic and carbonated drinks, bottled water, textiles, and other goods determined by the Ministry of Finance.
Do you feel that most importers might be thinking that Ghana wasn't really prepared for this initiative, looking at what is happening now?
Well, initially, we have requested for digital stamping. If you look at it, digital stamping for industry, which is much more easier, and then the importers will go on affixing the stamp. We thought perhaps by now the facilities will be expanded, and therefore there wouldn't be any delayance. But you can see the way it is now, and the same facility that we are using, some of them maybe they might have a hitch here and there. And then also, as it were, changing the original, let me say, company that was dealing with the tax stamp, and then bringing in another one. It's good we are having it produced here, and therefore, whatever it is, we want to see it done in the proper way. But unfortunately, as it is now, we are being told, like I said earlier, the stamp itself is not being, let me say, compliance with the machines that they have now, and therefore the challenges that they are facing. If anything should go by, or we have anything to go by, then of course the machines will also have to be changed or upgraded to meet the quality of the stamps that they are fixing now. Otherwise, going hand manual, it's not going to help. It's going to compound the situation as it is.
So what is happening currently here is sort of a hybrid system. So I'm just seeing one automation machine working, whereas most of the things happening here is manual. And in effect, it could delay the process. So how do you rate this entire system ever since it happened 3 years ago at a percentage of 100%?
I would say about 65%, if I should rate it, until government see the need, or GRA see the need to expand the facility, which we have been told that there's going to be an expansion. Definitely yes, but it all boils down to De La Rue bulk press or bulk press De La Rue, how efficient they are going to manage the system, because GRA itself is there and they are collecting the taxes. De La Rue is supposed to give us the sums and what quality that we want it to be implemented. Now, if they are doing so, then we expect them to do or be apt with the situation as it is. The quality of the sums that they are producing is not compatible to the machines that they have. And so therefore, they will have to come up with a solution. And that solution must be here and now. We want to see that this thing is being done flawless without any problem. If we are not able to do that, then what it means is that GRA will have to look for an alternative to ensure that we don't have any problem going the way future.
So far, agents of the Ghana Revenue Authority working and supervising work at this particular facility say that plans are far advanced for the establishment of complementary services across the regional capitals. What this means is that importers will not have to be waiting here for their products to be affixed, as so much demand is high in this regard. But for the Food and Beverage Association and members of the association, time is of the essence. The more the products wait in line to be affixed with tax stamps, the more revenue they lose out of this congestion. I'm Charles Aita reporting for Joy Business.